Okay, it's time for a new piece. I've been excited about this drawing for a long time, probably almost a year. I've pictured it in my head, but been a little bit nervous to actually start and see if I can do it like I'm picturing. But it all starts with the photo, the reference. And I'm going to create this on my own, not really use a lot of reference from other places. Sometimes I might do that, but I'm going to use reference that I make myself. So my friend Chris is going to come over and model for this photo. We're going to experiment a little bit and see if we can do what I'm actually picturing in my head. The idea is that the word peace would be projected over his face in light. I didn't want to do this with an actual projector because then it would light his entire face and it would really just kind of mess up the lighting of the rest of the photo. And so I want to light his face like I would a portrait, but then have the word peace just strong over the top of it, which is all going to start with making a mask for that light. And I'm going to start cutting out the letters of the word peace and use that as a mask for the light to come through. It's all sort of a theory right now, so we're going to try it out. I'm going to take you along with me. A iPhone light like this, or single LED, gives you a really sharp shadow for whatever it's being shown on. And you can see that, like my own shadow of the camera. Now that I have this mask cut out, we're going to test it out. So you can see my mask right here, and wherever I put my light, I have the word peace. So I can manipulate it some on this paper, but ultimately I want to be able to have that shadow right across Chris's face. It's got to be kind of far away. Going to be an experiment. And it was an experiment. We're just trying this out. I was kind of intimidated by this from the beginning because I wasn't sure if it was going to work or how it would look, but we tried it. I mean, it's really just you're figuring out how to bring your vision to life. And these kind of photo shoots can actually be sort of intimidating or kind of awkward because you're the only one who kind of sees the end goal. Everyone else is kind of going along with you. But you just got to stick to it, believe in your vision, and try some stuff. Just try it, even if it kind of seems weird, but sometimes you surprise yourself with what you discover as you're sort of exploring all of these ideas. So we tried it in a couple different rooms with different lighting, and I wanted to get it to come across his face. I wanted to be able to read the word clearly, and I actually really liked the word coming off the sides so that the whole picture, the background and Chris's face, is kind of a part of the word piece coming together. So we tried it a few different ways. We ended up finding a couple pictures we really liked, and I think it worked out pretty good, actually. There's a couple key things I'm looking for with a portrait. What I really love having is some sharp shadows. When you have this cleared shadow area in the light area, it helps bring the picture forward. You can get a lot of depth that way. And I want to be able to have some contrast in the lighting. So I'm finding a reference that gives me good contrast in the shadows and in the light, but also that helps this word kind of look the right way. So getting all those things together was difficult, between two different pictures, I think we hit what we were looking for. This first picture I really liked because it kind of comes across his face clear, but what I loved about it is the shadow you see on the left side, because that's giving clear indication that this is a light over his face, not just a kind of random thing I decided to draw in or erase off, in that area. And in this next one, I just loved the picture. I felt like it captured this sort of candid moment. It felt less posed, and I loved it. Kind of felt like it's an accident. Like, this is kind of real life Chris, not sort of posed model version. And so I actually ended up sticking really closely to this picture. So a big part of the reference for me is editing those pictures. I want to give myself as much information as I can, so when I get to the drawing, I'm able to be efficient, and I'm just making decisions now rather than later. It's either on the computer or you do it on the paper, and this helps me to make less marks and change less marks on the paper. And ultimately, this is about accomplishing the vision that's in my head. So if it helps me to do the thing I'm thinking of, then it's all on the table. I mean, you can do whatever helps you accomplish the thing you're picturing, to be able to portray it the way that you want to. So I'm messing with it a lot. I'm trying to figure out how could I take the word from this picture over the face in this other picture, but I ended up keeping really all of Chris's face in this picture that I really liked, but taking the position of the beginning and end of the word piece from the other picture. So I am blending them a little bit, but having those two references helped me a lot. And so now I'm really just trying to experiment a little. What helps me the most with this image? How many decisions do I want to work out all the way here? And how many things am I just going to leave for the actual drawing? Because a number of things I do just leave to figure out when we get there. You can use any kind of program. I'm using Photoshop, but that's just what I'm comfortable with. So don't feel like it has to look a certain way or be done a certain way. If it helps you accomplish what you're thinking or picturing, your vision, that's great. So this is just what I'm comfortable with, but feel free, use any kind of program that helps you or that is accessible to you to help build a reference that's going to help you draw the way that you want it to be. And so here is our final reference. This is what I'm going to be using as I actually produce this drawing. It's going to be very close to this look, but you can tell there's a lot of parts that I'm going to have to figure out to fill in and actually finish in the drawing itself. But this gives me a great starting point to find proportions, to find value, and the position of those letters. But the biggest thing is, how does that light affect his face in the space where the letters are? I think this picture gives me a lot to work with. And at this point, really all that's left to do is actually start drawing.